everybody, back again, and today we are covering the anime king of Tekken, Lars Alexanderson. I had this comment pop up. This was back on the Jin Kazama video. I am filming this right after finishing the Kyuza video. I haven't seen any more requests aside from the ones that were done back on the Jin Kazama video. So, since this was the next one in line, I guess we have to cover Lars. Lars does not have a real-world basis for his martial art that he fights. His fighting style looks like something that the devs of Tekken saw in a cartoon when they were children and said, we'll make a character that does that. Since this video series is about how realistic movesets are, we've cut out all the BS. None of the double backflips, none of the double front flip stomps, none of that wild, absurd stuff. I've combed through the entire moveset that Lars has and found a few examples of things that could possibly be considered for real-world use. So we're going to go over those today, and we're going to see if they're effective like we do. Without further ado, let's get into the first one. So if it wasn't for, after that stomp to the knee, that big rotation at the end, this would actually be somewhat viable. Distracting with that jab, and then crushing the knee with a downward inside style side kick to the knee would be very effective. To make this actually viable, instead of spinning around, backstep. Or switch back to the orthodox stance from southpaw. There is no reason why Lars should feel the need to spin and expose his back if he's not going to make use of the momentum gained from spinning. So we're already seeing even the most viable ones that Lars has are over-exaggerated to emphasize the anime style he fights with. If you modify it to something simple as just a jab and then a side kick to the knee, you don't even need to change stance, you don't even step through it. You can just jab and throw the side kick. That would be much more effective than the way Lars does it. But I'll give him credit for actually coming up with a decent combination.
Oh! Stop! He goes to kick, I thought, oh.
Did it break, Mike?
Well, it bent the wrong way.
Oh! Stop! At least this one doesn't involve a backflip. Again, we've got a very unnecessary spin at the end, and now we've got a double fist punch to the body. Double fist punches are less effective than regular punches in most cases, unless you were spreading it high and low, like you've seen when Anderson Silva did it.
With the punches. He's just so loose in there right now.
But when he did it, he struck high and middle at the same time, so that his opponent had to pick which area they wanted to get hit in. Lars, on the other hand, decides to render his strike less effective by spreading that surface area out over two fists, instead of just making a use of the strikes properly. This combination would be far more effective if it was just a jab, a straight to the body, and then a ground kick without the unnecessary spin at the end. But, again, Lars is very anime style. So, the way Lars does it, 2 thumbs down. Yes, it looks flashy. Yes, it looks cool. But it is far less effective than just a simple combination of throwing the base strikes properly. Again, this would be far better if Lars used the techniques properly. Here you see him step in for a straight right hand, which is actually decent, but then he decides to rotate and throw a knife hand strike, like suchly, up like a slap. Knife hand strikes are designed to strike at the throat, the temple, and soft spots on the body, not to slap your opponent upside the bottom of the jaw. Could it be somewhat effective if you hit with it? Yes. Is it going to be much harder to hit with than a simple, proper backside knife hand strike straight into the head or throat? Yes, it will be far less effective. Or you could even use a spinning back fist in its place, and like we covered in the Kyuza video, spinning back fists are actually effective. Lars needs to get his crap together. He over-rotates. He underpowers his strikes. He sacrifices proper technique and damage for looking flashy. And this is something that really frustrates me. Lars is kind of an aggravating force to me, let's say. It's like if you watch old school Kyokushin versus modern day Kyokushin. It's like if you look at old school Taekwondo versus new school Taekwondo. We've gone from effective, powerful martial arts to toe tag. And things like Lars are one of the reasons we've done it, because people would rather look flashy than be effective. You don't need to be flashy to be effective. You need to be proper technique, proper speed, proper use of openings. Again, 2 thumbs down the way Lars does it, because it is just entirely underpowering the strikes because he's using them incorrectly. The setup is decent with that stepping forward straight right hand, but he throws it all out the window when he decides to swing his hand up like he's slapping his opponent. Again with the over-rotation, again with exposing the back when we don't need to. Spinning at the end, if that kick doesn't connect properly, you're wide open for your opponent to take your back and do whatever he wants with you. If it was modified to a simple straight right hand, simple round kick to the head, back to position, it would be far more effective. But the way Lars is doing this is exposing his back yet again for no reason, just for the sake of looking fancy. So 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, because the technique would be effective if the stupid son of a bebop boy would stop spinning. It seems like with Lars, the more fancy he gets, the less effective the techniques get. It's almost like that's how reality works. Why in God's name he would spin and throw a knee in the reverse direction makes no sense to me. If you're gonna throw a spinning knee, throw it in the same direction as the spin, not the opposite. That way there's actually some force behind it. Or better yet, just throw the knee. There is no reason to jump and spin before throwing a knee. Or if you're so obsessed with being fancy and you have to jump, throw a flying knee instead. You're rendering it less powerful because the power of the knee comes from the hips driving into the target. So at the first strike, he's already screwed up. After he does that jumping spin knee, he reverses, does another one of those upward slap chops, does 1 effective strike out of the whole combination, which is a hook to the body, and then a back fist in a pushing motion, rather than following through with the spin that he decided to do. 2 thumbs down, 3 thumbs down, 4 thumbs down. I don't have enough thumbs to go down for this. So we've got a back fist to the knee and a side kick to the head. This is the first decent thing Lars has done. Still have issues with it. You don't need to throw a back fist to the knee. Would it be somewhat effective? Yes. Does it leave me all kinds of exposed right here? Yes. If you wanted to get your opponent to drop their guard, do like a boxer does when they go to throw an uppercut. Fake the grab, then come up. Same thing here. Fake the grab, then come up. It allows you to generate more power in the side kick, and you're not wasting your time and leaving yourself exposed longer than you have to. So I'll give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, just because it's one of the more viable things he's done. Thank God we finally have something useful. Aside from the fact he over-exaggerates his swing so much, a body hook followed by an uppercut on the lead hand is a decent combination. Useful for boxing, finally something we can use in MMA, finally something that's not just anime as hell. Let's just put it that way. Finally something that we can actually just use. I didn't think I'd be giving Lars a double thumbs up on anything in this video. But thank God we found at least one. I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not getting my hopes up. Lars' way is still super anime. But again, another acceptable combination. A body hook followed by a snap kick or T. That's actually useful. That's a kickboxing combination for creating distance. If you want to knock your opponent off balance. If you want to hit him in the body on the side, get that liver punch, and push them back. This is actually a half decent. 2 thumbs up. I'm not getting my hopes up, but at least we found 2 good combinations for Lars so far. So this is another decent one, finally. And he doesn't actually over-rotate at the end, which is nice. We've got that straight to the body uppercut style punch, followed with a turning side to the head. You could go to the body or the head with the turning side. Body's going to be easier to land, possibly more effective, depending on how it lands. But this one's actually decent too. And we don't see after he kicks him doing some fancy spin rotation. Thank you. There are ways that we could make this more effective, but I'm going to give Lars a break here and just call this one a 2 thumbs up, because as far as Lars is concerned, this is one of the most effective things he's done so far. And we're back to the over-rotation. One thing that I haven't mentioned about over-rotation yet is when you strike a target, the goal with hitting your opponent is to input all the force you can on the target. So there should be no leftover momentum to over-rotate with. If you strike correctly with a round kick, it stops you right there when you hit. In order to spin past it, you have to kind of just graze it. I don't know why he likes just tapping his opponent gently, when the goal is to hurt them if you're trying to kick them. Aside from that, if it wasn't for the over-rotation, assuming he did that second kick properly, a skipping side kick followed by a round kick is a bread and butter taekwondo combination for closing distance and landing a headshot on your opponent. Or even if you go to the body with it. It's a very, very commonly used kickboxing and taekwondo technique, and it has been used in MMA. It has been used in Muay Thai. It's been used across the board in martial arts. So take the over-rotation out of the equation, and it's a 2 thumbs up. With the over-rotation, we gotta drop one. I'm gonna have to give Lars a 2 thumbs up for this one because it's an actual proper combination with no over-rotation. I don't hold Lars to a very high standard, but this is a decent one. You have the leg kick to either make them check you or slow them down by hurting that leg, followed by that turning side kick to the body to knock them over, incapacitate them, whatever your overall goal is. So begrudgingly, this is another 2 thumbs up. Not begrudgingly because this isn't a good technique. This is a great technique for Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, all of it. It's ended a lot of guys in fights. Begrudgingly because I've grown to hate Lars making this video. This is a 1 thumbs up, 1 thumbs down, just because it's been used in Taekwondo. It is a tornado side kick. A lot of guys have seen tornado kicks. I figured I'd do Lars some credit and take one of his very anime moves and say something nice about it because I've been giving him shit all video. I've used this kick in Taekwondo sparring. I've knocked people over with this kick. If you can set it up correctly, you can use it. For something like MMA, Muay Thai, probably not. You might be able to get away with it if you're skilled enough. Kickboxing, you could get away with it if you're skilled enough and if you set it up correctly. But very situational, and I'm going to give him a thumbs up, thumbs down, just because I feel like I've been giving Lars a lot of shit this video. But we're finished with Lars for now. I've combed through his entire moveset, and these are the only examples that are even considerable for a video like this, in my opinion. Everything else is either way too many extra spins, way too many flips, things like that that just make it completely impractical. I hope you guys like what you've seen. If you do, do me a favor, drop a comment below, do that thing right there, and until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom knife, sword, polearm, whatever, check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video. I make them all by hand. If you guys have any characters you want to see, drop it in the comments down below. After this video, next month's video is going to be Paul Phoenix. Then we're going to try and see if we can do anything with Devil Jin. If not, it'll be whatever you guys suggest in either the Kayuza video that's already out or this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one.